Hello, and I hope I'm clearly audible to all of you. Today is the day 14 of our video, and today we'll speak on Uniform Civil Code. It is enshrined in our Indian Constitution in Article 44 of Directive Principles of State Policy, that is DPSP, in Part 4. And today we'll unravel what UCC is, right? UCC basically stands for Uniform Civil Code, and in a nutshell, it's one law for one nation, all right? Therefore, in India, the word secular itself is in preamble, and in that very country UCC seem like, you know quite quixotic, right? In a country where every 100 kilometer you find another religion, in that country UCC becomes quite, undesirable, right? So today we'll understand what part 4 article 44 is all about, and therefore we start our today's video. So India, in my opinion, must adopt uniform civil code, all right, because it promotes equality, right? It ensures justice across every communities that is present in our nation, and it fundamentally strengthens the national integration because there will be one law for every community, every religion, and every people living within one nation. One law for one nation. And by replacing every, old traditional, cultural, the laws that we have for Muslims, for that matter, Hindus, Jains, Parsis, right, Buddhist. It replaces all this personal, religious, personal laws with one law for everyone in terms of, marriage, and there's different aspects, right? And for good of all, the law will be same for everyone, and the benefits would be, very fair, where there would be no gender injustice, right? And the unity would outweigh all its difficulties to get implemented, right? So the benefits is huge, yet it's very difficult to get implement due to the major, differences between the religious personal laws and people's opinion. Therefore, the Uniform Civil Code, as I have mentioned, it refers to a common set of laws governing, personal matters such as marriage, divorce, inheritance, and adoption laws, for all citizens across the country, irrespective of religion, as I have mentioned before. It is again enshrined in the Article 44, Part 4 of the Indian Constitution, DPSP, right? And the it the DPSP of our Indian Constitution, although is not justiciable, right? It is not justiciable, unlike fundamental rights. Fundamental rights are justiciable from every right that you get in part 3 is justiciable. However, part 4, when it comes to DPSP, it is not justiciable, right? It is non-justiciable. Therefore, it just urge the state to, secure all the provision or the articles that is there in part 4 DPSP. That is a major problem of DPSP. And had it been in the part 3 of the Indian Constitution, I wish, you know, if I were the member of drafting committee, I would have, include this UCC in fundamental rights. So that's there. However, unfortunately, it is not present. That's why it just urges a state. It is just a guideline for the parliament, right? Just to secure the equality, and yeah, they must look into the matters, right, to secure the welfare of the state and the citizens within the state. So that is where the DPSP actually is, right? So that's there. Now we'll tell you why India should adopt a uniform civil code. Firstly, as it is in Article 14, equality before law. Currently, personal laws differ for Hindus, Muslim, Christians, right, and multiple religion, right. There is like multiple religion in India. I, if I have to mention, there are numerous. If I take the religion, I believe there are a lot of religion which we are yet to discover, right? So India is a country where you would find, multiple religions. We can't count it in our hand, finger that's in our hand. So we have multiple religion, right? So when there's multiple religion, this very UCC would ensure equal treatment to all of the citizens, respect, irrespective of caste, color, creed, or the place of birth, or for that very matter, even for religion, even for other religion, number of religion, it would ensure equal justice with equal laws for everyone. So that's there. One legal system would be there that would work, and one law would be there that is applicable to everyone. So that's the first point why India must, emphasize on implementing UCC, right? Second is gender justice. Many personal laws are very discriminatory. If I have to be honest, would highly, you know, I would highly recommend you all to look in few personal laws of Muslim, right, where a man can marry, multiple wives, right? And on that very note, if he gets, if that wife is nagging him, if he gets fed up with her, he can just divorce in three words, that is talaq, talaq, talaq. So that is the kind of peculiar law we have in Muslim personal laws, right? So with this getting implemented, with UCC coming in, all these things would get just shattered away, right? It would vanish. And when that things happen, the gender justice in a way gets, you know controlled, right? I'm not, you know I'm not good at using word control, but the very gender justice, see how bad the condition is, that we have to use the word. Personally, I am using the word control. It should not be control, right? It must be fair for all, both men and women, right? That's there. Even, I mean to say, if this UCC is implemented, then the fairness, right, that fairness, very justice would prevail between male and female, right? That's what I mean to say. And oh yeah, it ensures the empowerment between male and female, right? There would be no such major differences between female and male if we consider even all the religion at one time. There would be equal rights for both male and female. So on that in that process, the gender equality comes in the conclusion, right? And that is the second point of adopting UCC. Third point is national integration. When nation is strong, when the building is strong, all of the pillar, right, all the pillar of the buildings is strong. But when even a pillar is weak, when a pillar is weak, right, the building cannot stand very strong, right? A house that fight against their, themselves cannot strong, right, cannot stand strong. So if we need national integration, if we want, as Bharat is a union of states, right? So if we want it to be strong and powerful, a common code specifically UCC or a common civil code can foster unity by reducing division based on caste, color, community. As a result, strengthening the idea of one nation, one law, right? So it would also play a major role in the national integration, integrating all the states, for that matter, every citizen with one law for one nation. So that's there. That was the third point. Now the fourth point for why India should adopt UCC is modernization of laws, personal laws of every religion, right? It must be updated, right? Even my mobile requires update, software update every a month. I'm not sure about the month, but after 2 months, 3 months, I have to update it, right? Otherwise, things like I won't be able to install many application because it requires a latest software update, right? So similarly, the modernization of laws must be there in the religious laws, because some things, some very laws are very primitive and traditional, right? And they must get some sort of update with the updating time, right? Due to the change of the world, right? So things are not same anymore, right? And this all these laws are written way back, right? All the religious laws. So in order to modernize the law, UCC is very important. For instance, we can say that personal laws often reflect outdated customs, right? And this very UCC would bring progressive forms, and it would reform all the some sort of laws of killing, right? Because in many religion, killing is seen as something that they could get moksha, right? From if they kill, they could attain moksha, or some sort of stupid things like that. So when we modernize the law for every people, right, so it basically uplift the people and the civic sense, for that matter. If I have to be very basic, it some few laws are very irrational, right? Some old primitive laws are very irrational, right? Of some religious of some religious, you know some religious laws are very rational, right? So while adopting UCC, we also altogether modernize the laws, and it would align with the contemporary values, right, of democracy and liberty, justice, and for that matter, freedom. And you know main thing is about, what is the main thing, like in individual and individual, we can say that self-respect. And yeah, I'm not getting that word, what do you call it? Forget it. In individual dignity, all right. Individual dignity. Okay. So all this laws, new laws, would be aligned with the all respect, justice, liberty, freedom, and self dignity. So that's there. And that was the all of the points for why India must adopt a UCC. Now, while we have a lot of pros about the UCC, we also have certain challenges while implementing it. And today we'll look on the challenges as to how getting UCC implemented India is quite a hefty and a headache for the government, right? So first challenge for implementation, or for that matter, in implementation of UCC, Uniform Civil Code, is religious sensitiveness. people in India, they can give their life for religion, right? They are blessed, they are blessed with I don't know what, but they can go to any extent if they come to their religion, right? And that is what basically going in the national arena of politics, right? The religion is fully diluted. I won't say diluted, but the politics has been diluted in the name of religion, right? So there's some cocktail of politics and religion in our nation. So religious sensitiveness in that very nation where religion driven politics always prevails, the personal laws are deeply tied to the faith and tradition of our people, right? Many communities fear that uniform civil code can erode all their crucial and cultural identity. So that's there. I hope you got my point. What religious sensitiveness means in terms of getting all your laws tradition that you've been tied to getting eroded all of a sudden with just one act that gets passed in the parliament, right? So people fear it, right? Maybe 20 years from now we might be able to see a lot of progressive and progressive and good mindset among the people, but as of now, right, it's very hard to understand, to make them understand what benefits we will take after UCCs implemented. Yet that religious sensitiveness remains a perpetual you know thread or the challenges as of now. So that was the first challenge. Now second challenge is political opposition. See, UCC is highly debatable and politically charged issue with differing views among the parties and communities. It's very difficult to get UCC passed in the Indian Parliament, right? Excuse me. So there are many national parties, right? Not everyone advocates for uniform civil code. So it becomes quite a hefty task for the government to, you know, pass this act flawlessly in the, you know, Indian Parliament. So again, although it is not a challenge, but it is if it is getting difficult to pass because without passing with a majority in the house, nothing can become an act, right? So that's there, even though it must not stand as a major challenge. But if all the politicians divert and synchronize all of their mind all together, then things are possible. Yet there is a lot of political opposition and few parties even oppose and some supports, right? So again, not a firm challenge, yet it remains as a challenge. That is the challenge number two. Now, thirdly, we'll look onto the practical diversity, right? A practical diversity might also be a huge, you know, challenge for uniform civil code to get implemented, because India is a vast country, as I've said earlier, and the cultural diversity in India is something which we do not get to see in any other country or nation state apart from our great India, right? There are vast cultural differences. Just in next 100 kilometer, we get to see different people, right? So really makes it difficult to draft a single law, right? A single code for all, right? Because there are different sort of people with different set of mindset, right? And one law being acceptable to all is something very utopian, right? So again, practical diversity is also a major challenge that that India faces in journey of implementing UCC. Now we will look on to one case study that is from UK, And when I say UK, it's not United Kingdom, but our lovely and beautiful Uttarakhand. So, Uttarakhand. So, in 2024, the Uttarakhand was declared as a state. In fact, first state, with implementation of UCC, right? In March 2024, Uttarakhand became the first Indian state to implement UCC. Now, few viewers might also question about the Goa, then why Goa is not the first state, right? To all of them, I would like to say that Goa, from the very beginning, was a state which followed one common civil code, as Goa is majorly driven by the religion Christianity, right? Where in Goa, in every corner, each and every corner, you would find mostly Christian people, right? So in that country, in the year very pre-independence, in the year 1867, right, the Portuguese laws, specifically Portuguese code, or today we know as Goa civil code, was already formulated way back then in 1867, right? So we do not consider it as a sort of act, or any amendment that has been done in our Indian Parliament. So on that very note, Uttarakhand becomes the first state getting UCC implemented in March 2024. All right, so that's there. So Uttarakhand, became the first state implementing UCC, and it sets a precedent for the rest of our countries, right? This shows the gradual, gradual implementation, right? Gradually, all the state level adoption, such as for fostering, some sort of common laws on everyone, like Uttarakhand, can pave the way for a nationwide implementation. Yet, I don't think so. It's feasible, right, as of now, because in India, like multiple religions are there. If even I have to be hypothetical, and I know if I imagine just two religion being in India, Muslim and Hindu, even then I think UCC would be just a false paradise, right? So forget about Hindu, Muslim. Just imagine, close your eyes and think how many religion you can think of, how many religion right? And yeah, I'm sure the religion which you are able to think is just the 25% of the religion that is in India. That is in India. Rest 75% is unknown, right? It is yet to be discovered. So that's our great, nation, where there's a lot of cultural diversity. So that's there. Now, in summation, India should adopt a uniform civil code to uphold the constitutional values of justice, equality, liberty, and, as I've said earlier, human dignity, and most importantly, but I question secularism and UCC. It's very hard to prevail at a time. At one time, secularism and UCC cannot exist, in my personal opinion, right? Plurality and secularism, it's very hard, right? Just think with your own personal lens, but what I see is it's quite difficult, right? So that's there. If secularism and plurality can exist, then I think backing up the wrong tree, because in my opinion, it's kind of hard, right? Think secularism, where one can choose any religion, and specifically UCC getting implemented at the same time, mess becomes a hodgepodge, right? So that's there. Now, while challenges exist, right, of implementing UCC, but it can be addressed in the Indian Parliament through fostering dialogues, consultation, and gradual implementation, seeing the practical implication, right? So That's there from my side. And lastly, a UCC is not just about erasing traditional laws, but about ensuring that laws are feasible, and citizen must be in their best well-being when the laws are implemented, right? And as a at the end of the day, citizens must be safe, sound, and their welfare must be look right. Their welfare must be looked by laws. So that's their. I'm not sure how much I'm able to understand, make you understand, but I hope this information helps you. May God bless all of you and all your efforts. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you. Thank you. This is all for today. Oh shit, 25.